In the history of mankind, we often found mythological creatures that once dictated over the world. In the race of terrifying centaurs, the gigantic snake Titanoboa led for several centuries in the ancient time. However, nowadays it is assumed that the Titanoboa vanished from the globe long ago. Yet some repeated incidents took place that let us consider twice about the extinction of this mighty legend. Number 5. A similar essence of ancient Titanoboa found dead in Brazil. The snake owned a mouth so wide that it could fit the whole of you without spending a single drop of sweat. With the boundless mass and a firm jaw, the snake appears to be one of a kind. Don't get startled yet. Fortunately, the snake could not do extreme outrage, as it was lifeless when exposed and brought in a standoff condition. The size of the vermin is not equivalent to the traditional snakes that we know of. The snake was 33 feet in length, spotted hiding in caves near a dam installation site in Brazil. The gigantic reptile, which scales at a whopping 400 kilos, was first observed by the operators after they carried out a guided explosion in the cave of Altamira in the northern state of Para. After making the hair-raising discovery, the workers chained the animal to a crane and later lifted it up to expose its yellow-dappled underbelly, although their action was criticized in the comments when the clip was made public. From the outer measurement and color pattern, the snake resembles the ancient mighty Titanoboa. In the video, you can witness the colossal reptile fastened with several leather bands, along with a long drawn metal chains to a truck for transportation. It was so enormous that they had to pick up its tail to fit in. And of course, they had to get a moderately large truck to match the snake height. Nonetheless, the frightful news is it was not the first case to confront such a giant serpent. In that very year, a similar snake was located in a restaurant in Bangkok on August 26. The corresponding event repeated in February when a 6-meter-long giant snake was caught while patrolling for food to eat near a field of farm animals. All those repeated cases of enormous snakes often raises a question: if such enormous snakes can still exist, is it highly unlikely to discover the historic Titanoboa someday? Number 4. Does the discovery of a gigantic Titanoboa occurred via Google Maps satellite imaging? Google Maps is an everyday traveling means that assists us to navigate towards our desired destinations. A user of this app went thrilled when he assumed it to be the discovery of the legendary Titanoboa, the mythical sea monster. The giant mysterious sea snake was spotted in the turquoise waters of one of New Zealand's most tranquil bays. An unexplained wake was detected in the Google Map picture of Oak Bay in the Bay of Islands, an area on the east coast of the far northern district of the country's North Island. Caught by satellite at around 11:30 a.m. on January 30th. Engineer Peter Whitehira, who found the image while searching for his vacation house on Google Map, told Daily Mail Australia the wake could have been generated by a deep water being around 12 meters in size. When the footage was made public, it caused a mass panic on social media networks, particularly those who reside near the region. Normally, Google Maps is a harmless tool, but this particular event generated a distinctive, horrifying situation among the users. The image revealing the presence of a deadly and ill-defined creature went viral due to its massive volume and ferocious appearance. In it, the appearance of an odd figure is observed, which immediately caught the curiosity of the people from all around the world. According to residents of the region, the creature is called a tenawa, which initially does not match the criteria to be a whale, but it is unquestionably more substantial than a shark. Also, its movement is too swift and turns too quickly to be a whale. The tenawa is a mythology creature that lurks in oceans, rivers, lakes, or hollows. However, there are several other interpretations of the creature among the locals. For some, it is the ancient Titanoboa that evolved into existence again, but for others, they are guardians to whom offerings are made. However, surprisingly ironic that they often do believe it might be an enormous mythological monster, or some even consider it to be an actual dragon. The image was exported for expert advice as the monstrous rumor persisted, spreading the panic among the locals. Even some of them bequeathed the region for good. So it became essential to disprove the theory of some mythological creature and its tales. In the end, the specialists provided a reasonable explanation of the photo. They affirmed it to be a rowing fish that can be scaled up to 14 meters in length and also possesses the ability to form such currents. In spite of expert advice, numerous locals still believe it to be the mythological giant snake Titanboa. So what do you think? Number 3. Traffic stands still while giant Titanboa-alike serpent crosses the road of Brazil. In the video clip, a large snake is spotted while crossing the highway. Numerous people were getting down from their cars and even holding other approaching vehicles to let the reptile cross. The vermin was over 3 meters in height and weighed roughly 30 kilograms. A few inquisitive passengers succeeded to capture images and videos of the reptile. The incident took place on a busy road in Brazil near the city of Porto Velho. According to Global News, the video, which was shared by Italo Nescimento Fernandes, reveals the gigantic snake attempting to pass the highway, and people stopped by to witness this unusual event. Speaking with animal news site The Dodo, Fernandes stated he's noticed several snakes lying dead in the road because people didn't stop by. It's not everyone who protects animals like that. Some people prefer to watch them die, Fernandes said. Observing all the people offering help created a wonderful sensation. Fernandes' video has been streamed more than 2 million times since being posted. Biologist Flavio Terracini told the Brazilian news website G1 Globo, states that the snake had strolled on the highway in search of food. Terracini said to the website, "These reptiles can appear in the Midtown region in search of tiny rodents, and in the city they can feed on dogs and sometimes cats too. So it's better to be cautious not to leave the scraps in the backyard, because these creatures can sniff the rodents or other animals and reach close to houses, particularly in the rainy season." However, it is not the only monstrous snake emerging in recent times. Lately, an 18-foot python was seen atop of a home in Detroit's East 7 Mile neighborhood. The snake, identified as Juliet, was noticed after a dog barked at her and alerted the neighbors. Can it be the contemporary version of classical Titanboa? What do you think? Don't forget to leave a footnote in the comments section. Number 2. A breathtaking confrontation of 2 divers with a gigantic 7-meter snake, which might be the forgotten ancient monster Titanboa. The news flare agency published a video of 2 scuba divers, Bartolomeo Bove and his friend Juca Yagarape, who reached face-to-face with a huge green-tinted snake while exploring the depths of the Formoso River in Brazil. According to the description of the video, the footage was captured in July by professional cameraman Bartolomeo Bove and Juca Yagarape, who traveled to the state of Mato Grosso do Sul to dive in a river near the city of Nice. At the opening of the video, you can spot a mottled and vast essence of a large reptile reclining under numerous rocks at the base of the river. The following scene reveals the gigantic reptile hefting over 90 kilos, sticking its tongue out in front of the camera lens a few inches before the diver. The snake and divers became dangerously nearby. However, in some parts of the video, the snake appears to be scared, looking for a passage to escape. In the video, the reptile inspects the camera up close, flicking its tongue, and then floats away from the camera. Bartolomeo Bove clarified that the bodies of water that extend around the Bonito area are the only places in South America where it is possible to dive with such snakes. This species of constricting snake wakes up from hibernation in late July, offering it the ideal month to dive with these majestic creatures. Although after the video was published, a huge number of archaeologists and philosophers believed it to be the omnipotent Titanboa and demanded furthermore investigation upon the incident. Do you think the Titanboa might be hiding in the unexplored section of the deep sea? And who knows what other creatures are living there? Number 1. Amazon is trampling by the presence of the mighty Titanboa itself. Local inhabitants near the Amazon rainforest loaded with the fear and panic of the horrifying monsters, an incredible snake so vast that the legendary anaconda seems tiny in comparison. Certain native tribes of both Africans and locals near the Amazon River in South America described the enormous snake to be the Titanboa. The serpent is comprehended to be 40, sometimes 50 feet long. The head of the monstrous creature is assumed to be 2 meters wide and can bring down almost anything in its path and change the course of the tributaries of small rivers when crossed. In the centuries that followed, the indigenous communities of the Amazon often spoke of a gigantic Titan boa, but herpetologists, Europeans, and Americans omitted the story, considering it as myth. From academic professionals to herpetologists, all of them were far from convinced. The monstrous snakes theory just seemed to be something idiotic to them. As the debate continued for another century until two brothers, Mike and Greg Warner, ascended a voyage in the Amazon's jungle looking for proof of monstrous snakes. The expedition remained inconclusive, although they recorded tracks of a giant snake and also recorded statements from natives who insisted on having witnessed the giant snake. Mike Warner spoke to hundreds of local residents and workers who had contacts with the creature. He even reviewed thousands more. Although the first journey into the wild could not locate the mighty snake, the brothers were unstoppable. After accumulating adequate funds, they mounted another voyage to the Amazon. During the second expedition, Warner succeeded in discovering and filming regions where the giant monstrous lives. Rifts were bred near rivers, their trenches, some about 2 meters wide, and photographing some of the massive reptiles. Not the Titan boa itself, but just as majestic. Most of the spectators who have sighted the vermin have not paid adequate time analyzing the creature, just been ordinarily crossed over it by mishap and then either swing or run for their life. Werner's research led him to realize that the creature prey near the regions where two rivers merge into one, called confluence, determined that the areas will provide the colossal predators a consecutive amount of food. What they discovered was attached to the reports of prior spectators. Over the course of many years, sightings have included information about a gigantic snake with horns spouting from his head. This peculiar characteristic, mentioned in many reports of sovereign historians onward the Amazon, Werner pointed to the hypothesis that it could be an obsolescent version of the Titan boa today. That was the top 5 photos and videos that prove the mighty Titan boa might still exist. Though there are various contradictions about their authenticity, yet a large number of people believe those events to be a resemblance of an actual Titan boa.